the Opubco studios in Oklahoma City, I'm Jenni Carlson, and this is OU Basketball with David Ubben. David, a game on Saturday that left a lot of people shaking their heads. Oklahoma wins by a point against Northern Colorado, 80-79. But A, I think a lot of people were surprised it was that close, and B, I think a lot of people were surprised about how Willie Warren played. Let's talk first about Willie. What was the situation with the wild, wild world of Willie Warren?
Well, he looked a little disinterested for a lot of the game. He wasn't being real assertive. He didn't take a lot of bad shots, but he didn't take a lot of shots. He only shot one time in the first half, and the only shot he made in the second half was probably his worst attempt. I mean, he was tightly covered. It was a fall-away jumper. He took a couple threes to follow up with that. He's 0 for 3. I think that's his fourth game of the year that he's missed all of his three-point attempts. It was just a bad game all around, and I think that a lot of the frustration that Capel had with him was because of his effort on the defensive end and just his general disinterest in the game, and just didn't look like the talented Willie Warren that we've seen in stretches this year.
You mentioned the frustration of Jeff Capel. That was on display in his post-game press conference. Talk a little bit about that and just what level of frustration we're talking about, because you were there, obviously, but this was unlike a lot of what most people have ever seen before from Capel or any other coach.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's usually a pretty balanced guy, but he was not hiding his frustration with his team. Northern Colorado is a team that's only been playing Division I basketball for some years, and for his team to come out and play like they did, coming off one of their best wins of the year at Utah a week ago, he was just really disappointed and said that any progress that they'd had up until that point had been shot basically by that game, and it's a team that he feels like they should have beaten much worse than they did. And not only that, but he felt like the effort that they gave. It seems like right now the only players on this team that have shown any kind of consistency in stretches have been Tony Crocker, Kay Davis, and then Tiny Gallen as well when he can stay out of foul trouble. So.
Well, they have a day off on Sunday. They're right back at it tonight in the All-College against UTEP, and not a marquee opponent, but definitely a marquee player on that team in Derek Character. Talk about him and the challenges that he will present the Sooners tonight.
Well, Character, he's going to be a guy unlike anything that they've seen so far this year. They'll see more guys like him when they hit to Big 12 play. Dexter Pittman, guy like he's a little bit similar, except Character can step out and shoot it a little bit better than Pittman can. But Character's a guy. Entering in high school, he was the best player in his class, which the Thunder's Kevin Durant was in that class, Greg Oden in that class. He was the best player in that class, and he went to Louisville, had kind of a rough career there. Never really showed the potential that he had shown in high school. Never really had that come to fruition. But he just looked not like himself in high school, and so he got in a little bit of a tiff with Rick Pitino. Never really got along. Got suspended 17 games in 2 years. But transferred from there after entering the NBA draft and withdrawing, and now he's at UTEP, and he's coming off 2 straight double-doubles after struggling in his first game, and he's a guy that OU could have some trouble with tonight, especially if Tiny Gallen gets in foul trouble early, because if that happens, I don't know that OU has anybody else on the bench that can really handle his size and his athleticism.
All right. Thanks, David. Stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.
Let's see it.